right now, what I want to do it just like she does it on the CD Incomparable. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you the incomparable Faith Evans.
Woo!
Hey.
Hey, Faith.
Hi.
Hey, boo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, you know, when you put it on cut one, the intro, that's exactly the way the guys are doing it. Who is that brother?
That's these two guys, these musicians that I work with. They're also producers. I mean, a lot of times when we're in the studio, we clown around and kind of talk like preachers and stuff. So I kind of was like, that'd be kind of fun to kind of keep that in some of the pieces on the album.
Well, you put your foot in this one, Faith, and your album dropped yesterday.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, your cover photo and the album shots, extremely eloquent.
Beautiful.
Just
you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm looking
Now,
at this.
Faith, this is Sherry Shepherd. I love the CD. Congratulations.
Thank you, Sherry.
But I love the fact that you kept it in the family. You had your daughter, China, writing with you. Usually you can't get your kids to do nothing.
Well,
with
luckily,
you. How'd you do that?
Yeah, luckily, China is actually very much proficient. I mean, she does what I can do and then some. I mean, she's very much a program. She knows how to engineer stuff that I don't sit still long enough to do. But she's an awesome writer and arranger. And I actually had the track and wrote the hook, and I just couldn't finish it. And I was like, can you finish it? And she gave it back to me, and I was like, oh, that's really hot.
Now, did you guys work well together? Did she tell you what to do? Did you tell her what to do?
Well, no, we weren't actually in the studio. She laid down the demo for me, and when I went in the studio and did it, I let her hear it, and she was like, well, you're missing. She told me what I was missing, and I needed to add the little part, another harmony part, but for the most part, she laid it down and gave me the example.
So
and
you
I tried to
work
do
as-
it as much like she did as possible.
You work as Faith in China, not as mom and daughter in that respect. Then.
Well, yeah, but we haven't actually really worked hand in hand on something yet, like, in the studio together. I have a little studio up in my house, so she lays a lot of her demos and stuff there, so she uses it more than I do, actually.
Yeah. Well, your single and the video is slamming. I deserve it.
Thank you.
And you brought Missy Elliott out. How'd you get Missy to do that, Faith?
I don't know. I had my fingers crossed and said my prayers because, I mean, although me and Missy are cool, I didn't know what exactly she was working on, if she was even in that place to feel like going in the studio and let alone doing a video. But she did it, and it came out exactly how I intended. I just wanted Missy to do her. Yeah. And I knew the video was going to be a lot of fun because Missy is retarded like crazy. She's so funny.
Missy's out there.
She's hilarious. So I knew we were going to have fun doing the video. So it came together.
It's an anthem. It's a new anthem.
Hey,
I believe that. I really. And the video is so much fun. And you got all of these other cats who are in there. You got Terrell Owens and some other folks in there.
Stevie J.
Yeah,
and
Stevie J. Yeah, Jocelyn. So was that filming of all of that? Because that had to be just.
Yeah, how did you corral Jocelyn to do a video?
That's what I want to know.
Well, you know what? Stevie J is my brother. So, I mean, in that sense, when I knew we were filming in Atlanta, I just kind of called all of my friends that lived in Atlanta to see if they were available. 112 was going to come, but we ended up switching the day and they were out of town. But, Stevie is my family. So I just called him and, said, you and bring wifey and, that'll be cute. And she was actually very nice. But, I'm the type of person I kind of just go up to people and say hi and give them a nice energy so that we can kind of break if there was any other energy there, we can
issues and
permeate that right away.
Faith does not play. Faith, because Jocelyn look at you better get your hands off my man.
Okay.
But I love Faith. This is Sherry again. I love the fact that the entire theme of the CD, it's like a scandal theme. I mean, you're playing the first lady. It's all scandal. The president cheated.
Oh, the second single.
That's
single.
Fragile.
Yes.
Yeah,
Fragile.
Yes, girl. Can you tell us about that?
Well, yeah, I had the idea to do the video kind of a play off the Scandal show since it's so popular and so good. But then Derek Blanks, who directed the video, he felt that since the song had the California Dreamin' sample, which was sort of, a vintage throwback. He wanted to kind of flip the Scandal idea and put it in the 60s. So that's how that came about.
Well, please, Faith, don't take my man card from me. I know this might be a violation, but track number 13, he is.
Oh, yes.
Now, you testified. You kind of took it to church. I don't know who that brother is you're singing about, but I believe you.
Jasmine Sullivan wrote that record.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
Yeah. So when I had, and of course hearing her demo a song, it took me a few sessions to actually execute it because it's in a lower register than I typically sing in. And I was trying to still approach it like Jasmine, but, sound like Faith as well. So it wasn't difficult, but it definitely took me a few times at, making sure I approached it the right way.
Is that often the case when somebody like a Jasmine Sullivan writes a song for you and you have to make those adjustments? Is it a process?
Well, from time to time, but I write a whole lot of my stuff. Yeah. Even if I work with some of my friends that are writers, I'm typically kind of bringing it all together. So, but yeah, a lot of times when it's someone else that completely wrote a song and gave it to me, it's like, okay, a lot of times I'm married to the demo and want to do everything like they did, believe it or not. Like, and they'll be like, Dag, I want you to do Faith. And I'm like, but I like what you did.
I like you doing Jasmine.
Well, you look so happy, Faith. Are you single?
I am single.
Oh, okay.
And looking?
Never looking.
You just
I would much rather be sought.
Do you need a little tickle every now and then?
Oh, what you know about tickle?
He's so bad.
What do you know about tickle?
You know.
Somebody's been listening to my interview.
Okay.
With this CD, you want to get tickled with your CD. I want to get tickled with the CD.
The album actually is sort of a story of what I was going through after divorce and kind of actually becoming involved with someone and not thinking I wanted to be in a relationship and kind of turning into that and tickling a lot.
You are a mouthpiece for so many women. It's like you put your thoughts to a melody. Like, I kind of like that. Put thoughts to a melody. The way you put your songs together.
That's the song title.
And you've been through a lot. You are so strong.
Thank you.
What do you attribute that to?
God.
Yes.
Number one. And my mom and my grandmother. My mother, I think I got kind of the best of both with them because my grandmother, she's just she's one of the nicest people. She wants to make everybody happy, do for everybody, even if it kind of slights her. So I grew up seeing her being taken advantage of because of her niceness, but she never, looked at it like that. She's like, this is that, like that's her calling to help people. My mother, who's also a very nice and giving person, she's just a very no nonsense and, tell it like it is. So I kind of grew up with both, both of those examples. So it's like I'm very warm and I try and greet people with a great energy and leave them with a great energy. However, I do not, when I see that someone is either trying to take advantage or taking my intelligence, don't play with that. It's like I might have to check you real quick.
As a mom, do you talk to your kids about situations like what's going on in Ferguson?
Yes, we do, actually. I haven't, since the whole grand jury thing, I've been traveling a lot, promoting my records, so we haven't really talked about it since it actually happened.
But with the Michael Brown situation and talking to your children, and especially, talking to both boys and girls, but your son, in terms of, because he is a young man out there on the streets, what kind of conversations are you having?
Well, I have 3 sons.
Okay.
Well, I was
thinking
which
of
are
CJ.
teenagers. I have CJ and my 16-year-old Josh. And it's really just, it's about, this situation is only another reminder of things that we've talked about for very long. Of course, this isn't the first time something like this has happened. But it just goes back to them understanding like how important it is to carry yourself in the manner of which you were raised, and to just kind of always understand that you are a target in many ways, even though they don't have, they may not have grown up like I did even, but at the same time, you're still a target in the bigger picture and in the bigger world. So I've always taught them to not take themselves too seriously, number one. And, you're no bigger or better than anyone else. We still have to understand how to operate in the real world. And, that's not about being a celebrity's child. That's not about, it's not about even being successful at anything. 'Cause
Being a movie
sometimes it
star
comes
or
down to
whatever,
being a young black man,
A
and you
person,
do have to
right.
operate
Yes.
from those parameters. And that, there's a lot of things that fall under that umbrella, but I try to teach them all those important things,
Faith Evans, our special guest in studio, and inside the Real Velvet Cake studio. Faith, I see a microphone.